get the people joining, and then we'll begin with our today's talk show. So as you sign in, please do let me know you're from which country and you're from which city. It's a public platform and people join in from the different parts of the world. So as you sign in, let me know. Hi Sakshi, hi Meher. Welcome to the show. So excited to see people joining in, and as you sign in, let me know your city as well. And I want to thank all the viewers for your lots of love, affection, support and appreciation for our show Coffee with Kanika. People are sending a lot of messages and they are asking me that Kanika, you are a journalist or an anchor, you speak so well, आपकी आवाज़ में एक सच्चाई है और आपकी आवाज़ में एक truth है. So I am not a journalist or an anchor, but yes, I am your voice. मैं आपकी आवाज़ हूँ. बहुत बार लाइफ में ये होता है कि हमारे बहुत से सोसाइटी में स्टिग्मास होते हैं, which we want to overcome it because for a positive society. बहुत से reasons के कारण हम उन्हें बोल नहीं पाते. We are not able to express it. We are not able to deal with it, and that's why we try to remain silent. So our talk show Coffee with Kanika is a positive platform on mental health awareness, where you can express yourself, you can vent out your feelings, and you can be very vocal about yourself, and nobody is going to judge you or label you. So it's a platform to express, not impress. And I am very excited to share with you that our today's topic is grades don't decide your fate. So it's a very interesting topic, and we are going to address this topic by Dr Mehak Arora Malik. She's a clinical psychologist and a PhD holder with a rich experience of 6 years in psychology field. And let's just invite Mehak on our show to address the topic grades don't decide your fate. Mehak, welcome to Coffee with Kanika talk show, Unapologetically Vocal. I'm so glad and excited to see you on our talk show.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be
and
part
you're
of
looking
this.
very beautiful.
Thank you.
Great. So, Mehak, our today's topic is grades don't decide your fate. And guys, one more thing, as you are joining in, because this is a very interactive and very engaging talk show. And I want to share something very interesting, which my team has found out, that Coffee with Kanika talk show on mental health awareness, unapologetically vocal, is the India's first Instagram live talk show in India. So that goes for a big, big celebration, because we are doing something positive to make a change in the society. And as you guys sign in, please do let me know you're from which city and country. Also, one more thing, it's a very effective and very engaging talk show that you will ever get it. So please do ask us the questions that are in your mind. This is not a talk show only to listen. This is a talk show to involve and engage and get the best out of it. So, Mehak, the results are out, and lots happening in the, on social media platform. And, then this thought came into my mind that, this topic needs to be addressed, that grades don't decide your fate. So first, before we begin with the, the discussion ahead, what are your views on this?
See, when I made this shootout video for you guys, I was absolutely stressing on the fact that grades do not decide our fate. And I absolutely abide by it. And I am so glad that, we have come up with this topic and not the cliche topics like, the other topics that are related. We've come with this and we're going to talk about this. So absolutely, grades do not decide your fate. Your self-worth, your self-esteem is not just based on a one-day test that you have given and been checked by the board or, any of the associations.
Right.
Yeah.
So, because there were a lot of surprises and the shocks
systems, how they are portraying the, you know, the marks of the students, the picture of the students. I won't address the names of the schools, but you know, there are some schools who are just not even showing the name of the student, a picture of the student with the marks 95%, 96%. So are they trying to show them as some kind of a product, and where you are trying to, you know, just label them with 95% or 96%? I mean, how do you define this thing? Which was very shocking for me, that you know, you have not even written a name and you're just defining them with 95% or 96% as if they are some products. It was really very shocking for me.
Right. See, the thing is, Kanika, why grades were introduced? They were introduced to measure your academic achievement, right? Grades were never introduced to become a brand. Now the grading thing, the children getting the grades, the higher grades, they have become a brand, and so is the school. The school is obviously taking them as the protagonist and going ahead with the
Very
advertisements,
true.
etc. Right? So basically, grading system was introduced to measure the academic achievement of a child. It is not
Right.
something that you are demarcating a child with this thing that, because you are a high grade student, so absolutely you have the full right to get access to all the other privileges. A child, in recent times, I have seen that it's not even from the peer group or from the students or from the school. The parents are equally involved. They are equally involved in the whole thing that, my child is scoring less, or they are measuring their child's worth as per the grades that the child is getting, which is absolutely wrong. This is not the connotation we are teaching the society. So when the parents are holding that version, how can they even let the school know about it, that you guys are not on the right track? So I feel
Very
the
true.
it has become a brand now.
Hmm.
Grading system
Very
has
true.
become a brand now. Now, see, I have this research study done that says that, in Finland, now in Finland is a very fine country. The top 10
Right.
students, if you find in the world, comes from Finland. And for 6 years, they have no gradation system. They have no academic ability system at all. Okay, and it's not that you're not telling parents how a child is doing. Instead of, what I feel is, instead of quantitative report cards, give them a qualitative feedback for at least the
Exactly.
vulnerable years of your life.
Exactly. Very true. So in that case, you know, do you think that our school system of assessing intelligence just based on the grades or the marks is absolutely incorrect?
See, I would not tag it incorrect. Incorrect would be a very big word, to see. Grading system is something that we cannot avoid. We cannot today raise a strike or a hula hoo about it, that, let's just stop the grading system happening. It's everywhere in the world. But let us just, get the things onto the heads of the parents and the school, that grading system is not everything. It is absolutely
Grading
not
system is
everything.
not everything. Very
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it's education. Having education is a privilege. Okay, we are privileged. All the students who are pursuing their education, it's a privilege for them to be educated and to go to the schools, make friends. Enjoy your school life and college life, etc. But at the same time, remember this thing, that grading is not everything. Maybe, you have today you have performed very well on the board exams and you get good score. Maybe the other student who was not feeling well had the board exams and he did not perform well. So the situation is different. You cannot measure the intelligence of a school of a student. So saying that the system is absolutely incorrect is not the right word, but let's just make them understand that, please let the students know that grades are not everything.
Because, you know, when we talk in psychology, we try to portray that, you know, intelligence is not based on your academic scores. There are 9 different kinds of intelligence when we talk about it. So it's your visual intelligence, it's your linguistic intelligence, it's your verbal intelligence, it's your musical intelligence, bodily kinesthetic intelligence, intrapersonal, and all that. We are all aware about it very well. So if we talk about, you know, we have so many examples, and you know, recently if we talk about Oyo Hotels, Ritesh Agarwal, he is world's youngest billionaire and he's a college dropout. And when he started with Oyo Hotels, it's people normally talk about the success of a person, but that journey and that the process of a success itself is, has a lot of hardships. It has so much of persistence involved, so much of failures is inside it. So he started with his talk show where he started with Oyo Hotels with just 50 rupees, and today he's world's youngest billionaire. And I mean, that's one example. But then there are other examples like Sachin Tendulkar, Kapil Dev, then Mary Kom. So these all are the people who dropped out from their college or school because they wanted to focus on their talent, and then actually they worked on their talent and made the best use of it. So probably a person who wants to become a cricketer or an artist might not be very good with the logical or mathematics or chemistry, physics, but will be great in the another field. So I truly believe that the school and the parents really need to understand and cultivate the talent and the ability of the child rather than just focusing on those 95% or 96%. I'm saying that's absolutely not wrong or bad. That's absolutely. Now, if we talk about it, there has been an example of Sushant Singh Rajput, such a brilliant student, but then he wanted to pursue his passion in acting, and he on his I think in his final year he left the engineering and he started with the dancing and then into an acting, and he turned out to be a brilliant actor. So I believe it's very important for a student as well to have a high self-esteem and the confidence in himself that I can actually make a mark in the society. Because I have done a lot of research on these factors, and it has found out that 12,000 students in India commit suicide due to the exam related stress, and parental and peer pressure and society is one of the biggest factor for it.
Yeah, absolutely correct. See, I feel, Kanika, intelligence, what is intelligence as per all of us? You are getting good score, so that means you are intelligent? Absolutely no. Intelligence, I feel the very definition of intelligence is not clear to the people around. Intelligence for me, for the students who come up to me and share the things and they want to get counseled, I feel intelligence is questioning. Whatever thing that you have in your mind, you are questioning it. Whatever scores that you've not got it, why you've not got it, because you did something wrong on the paper, you could not produce it well, so you're questioning it. Basically, intelligence is equal to questioning. It is not something that's just limited to the standardized scoring system.
Yeah. And also one thing which really disturbs me, that a student is judged based on his marks and grades. I mean, you judge a student, he's an intelligent student, he's an average student or a below average student just based on his or her marks, which is very unfair, and I truly, that's why I wanted to address, there is so much, Mehak, I can talk about it because this topic is so dear to my heart, and I truly believe there are lots of examples. We have seen it in our society as well, that, grades don't decide your fate. And what happens is, because the student is judged based on his, based on his marks or grades, that leads to the mental illness.
Right. Mental illness and grading system now have, they are like interlinked with each other. They share a direct correlation with each other. See, I have done my thesis in depression and I did it on the adolescent. I did not did the adult population. I did it on adolescents. And, it is absolutely in all the mental illnesses, be it depression, be it panic, be it anxiety, be it mood disorders, everything is related. Okay, and because of the grading system, now there was this research that was done by a New York university, whereby they took two private schools, two of the best private schools. where the result came out to be that 80% of the students, they feel stress, they have overwhelming anxiety due to the grading system. So that was clear-cut demarcation, and the hypothesis was obviously framed that, it would be higher. So it came out to be a clear-cut higher version of it. So I feel people are not, the concepts remain the same. Intelligence is okay, grading is okay, but the way you are projecting it in the society is wrong.
Very nice.
You are making a person a brand value to your school or to your institution or to anything. Instead, just give a qualitative feedback that we are proud that so and so had good marks.
So effort needs to be appreciated of a child, even if a child has scored 60%, 65%. If you remember, last year there was a mother, she wrote an open letter to his child where the child had scored just 60%, and she was very vocal about it, and she congratulated the child through an open letter on a social media. She was like, I'm very proud of you as a mother, and because I know I have seen you struggling through these subjects, and how you have overcome it. It was a probability, a chance factor where you could have failed it, but you were able to manage it, and you are able to score 60%, and I am very proud of you. And I mean, literally, there was when I read that open letter, there was so much of a smile on my face. I mean, we need to have parents and mothers like this who are so supportive and encouraging, rather than doing a competition or a comparison or a rat race. Because I really appreciate your point. You are not, see, grading is not bad. We cannot erase the grading. We cannot, because this is happening at a worldwide level. This is not something which we can, but how it is projected and how it is getting projected day by day is something that needs to be addressed, because the way of projection is wrong. So grading is not wrong, but the way of projection is wrong. And I really appreciate and acknowledge your this perspective towards the society, because the way the principals, and it shocks me, the principals are trying to, whom we consider as a model. So, Mehak, what do you think, how we should overcome this kind of a problem and stigma that's running in the society, where a student is judged based on his grades and, marks, and where it leading to us, you have already done your research on it. So how we should handle this and deal with this?
See, basically, Kanika, one, just make, any kind of issue that needs to be addressed has to be destigmatized. Okay. There is one stigma attached to the scores, that the scores are being very good, so the person is intelligent. Let's destigmatize. And the first foremost step to destigmatize anything in life, not even just grading system, is you have to speak about it. Talk about it, speak about it. Until and unless you are not speaking about it, we won't be, getting the thing that what exactly you are going through or what exactly your child is going through. One, I am going to be very blunt on this. Let's stop pretending that your child is not getting good marks, so that, or your child is being measured as per a certain other student, and it does not affect you. It does affect you. It absolutely does affect you. I have seen there are some schools that have started with the grading system from the very toddler years itself. And a student, there was a student who came up to us, and he was just 4 years old, and he saw the medals in his class, other students. He saw on the PT meet that the other student who was of same age, his classmate, that he has got so and so medals, and he started crying. And Mama, I want those medals. So I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous that you are from the very toddler years. See, as psychologists, we know that first 5 years of life are so vulnerable years. They are those years whereby you can mold the child as per the whole positive direction you can, right? It's a topsy-turvy phase. whereby you are inculcating the grading system is absolutely wrong. As I mentioned you, in Finland, now for the 6 years, they do not have any grading system. They have it after 6 years when a child is conscious enough. The parents have educated him enough that, what is grading system all about. It's mostly in India why we have suicidal rates because of the grading system. You take the research data of any of the international places and you will find that because of the grades there, the suicidal rate is 2%, just 2% as compared to India where you mentioned it's 12 to 18%, right? See, one thing is that education is very important. Okay, I am not going against the system of grading. That is, I am not speaking against it. For me, grading is very important. It actually gives your child some self-improvement objective to certain extent. It lets your child to, to set a target, to study and work hard for it. Okay, many students have this ability to develop competitive spirit only because of the grading system. So we are not going to we are not going to say against grading system, but
So my question is this, Mehak, how we should overcome with this kind
Yes.
of a mental illness which students, deal with through this kind of, judgment where they
Yeah.
are being judged based on their, grades and marks. And there
Yeah.
is so much of comparison and competition which is running in the society. So how we should deal with it? Because one thing I strongly believe it, as I have shared an example of a mother, the child scored 60% and she was very vocal about it. And it's not that she that open letter was on all social media platform where she was very vocal about it. I am very proud of my son. So in that case, do we mothers needs to have that kind of an acceptance of the marks for the child. Grades are very important, we don't deny it, but we need to have parents who are not doing this comparison and competition in the
Yeah.
society.
Right. See, one thing, coming to the point, first of all, don't let your child feed with some vocabularies that he should not be taught with. For example, intelligence is equal to marks. No, it is not. Intelligence, change the vocabulary. The concept remains the same. Change your thing. Intelligence, let the child know that intelligence is not marks. Secondly, don't scratch this ridiculous perfectionism itch. What happens when when we have this itching? What we do when we have itching? We apply some medicine, we apply a lotion, right? That's what we do when we have itching. So when your child has this perfectionism itching, just let the child know that your calamine lotion is your development that you have done so far, by far. So that's the thing. Okay, you need to just let the parents know about it. Next, I would feel that there are so many communities, so many peer groups, so many experts. You there, I am there. There are so many psychologists out there who are now vocal about the concepts. Let us know about your thing so that we can guide you. Yeah. So
Right.
be vocal about. That's the only factor. Let your child be a
Awareness is
time.
very important. You mean to say
Absolutely.
awareness, education,
Absolutely.
and spreading the, because people here now are being getting vocal. They are spreading the awareness because
Yes.
in the past there was no awareness, but now people
Yes.
are psychologists, professionals are taking initiative. So I would like to share with you, as we do career development counseling and the, when kids come for the counseling sessions, which starts with our program is. From from class 7th onwards till 12th standard. So we normally tell them about it because they come with this notion that career counseling is going to be just based on their academic achievements of the class 7th, 8th, 9th onwards, and we very vocally tell them about it that that's the academic scores. We are going to talk about, we are in our counseling sessions and in our career assessments, we are not going to just focus on the academic scores. We are going to take care of it, but along with it we are going to have the scientific scores, and scientific scores are based on the four psychometric tools that we try to do. Is one is the personality, aptitude, interest, and intelligence. A lot of times it happens the student has an intelligence but doesn't have the interest and the parents want, and also here through this thing I also want to address one more very important is that parents also have this kind of it, that they want their unfulfilled desires, or their career, that they want to achieve it or fulfill it, to be fulfilled by their children. So for example, if you wanted to become a doctor and for some reason you could not become a doctor, so you want your son or daughter to become a doctor, which is very unfair. I am being very vocal about it, which is very unfair, because every child has its own right and life, and let the child decide his career paths and career choices. Don't let your unfulfilled desire to be fulfilled by your by your children. So when you try to do this thing, you are doing a very unfair parenting, where I am being very vocal and very honest and very unapologetically about it, because I am saying something very truthful and the fair fact, and you have to understand it. You have to give a, you have, as parents, I believe that we have to give a breathing space to the child. We need to give a space to the to the kids, for them to really think about it, what they want to do it. We need to give them a space where they can actually explore their talent and ability, because a lot of times we are just pushing them and pursuing them because of something which is being done by the relative son, or by their by their friends.
There's a lot of comparison. There's a lot of comparison.
Yeah. And so much of herd mentality is happening in the society. वही भेड़चाल चल रही है कि क्या कहते हैं, किसी के ताया जी के बेटे ने डॉक्टरी की है तो तुम्हें भी डॉक्टरी करनी है, उसने इंजीनियरिंग की है तो तुम्हारे को भी इंजीनियरिंग करनी है. Please let the kids give the space to decide, because they have a mind that understands. And a lot of times I've seen when parents come for the career counseling, नहीं ये अभी बहुत छोटा है, इसको नहीं पता, कि ऐसे बच्चे को नहीं पता होएगा, बच्चे को एक्सप्लोर करने दो उसका टैलेंट. एंड दैट्स हाउ then when they go through a career counseling whole process, from the step 1 to the step 6, which we have it, which is about 2 months of a program, then they realize it that yes, psychology actually makes a difference, and career development programs are very important for the kids, because just based on the academic grades you cannot decide your career path. So you need to have academic plus the scientific scores. So
Absolutely. I feel
it's my
academic, when we talk of the academic system, it is absolutely very important to let the school authorities know that what is the importance of aptitude test. They feel it is subjective. It is absolutely so empirical. We have all the standardized tools with us. We have all the standardized tests with us, whereby we are giving you a demarcation that yes, this is the career things that you can choose for your children. So all these are empirical. They need to be, what as a psychologist I feel is that you need to change the mindset up of the people. You need to change the mindset up of the school authorities, of the parents, because once their mindset up changes, only then students will learn. Because students' immediate circle is the school, students' immediate circles are the parents, and obviously the peer groups around. So get to the root cause of the things, and let's just be vocal about the mindset up they are into it. Yeah.
So if we talk about all these people whom we have seen, they are such a famous public figures in India or international, and they have created a benchmark in the society, whether it's Kapil Dev, whether it's Sachin Tendulkar, whether it's Dr. Kiran Bedi as well. She failed in class 8 in Sacred Heart High School, Amritsar, and today we know how much she has achieved in her in her professional journey. I mean, she is a true inspiration for all the women like us who want to create a benchmark in the society. So one thing which is very, very important is to understand that their parents were very supportive. They accepted it. So for example, if a child says that I want to pursue, sports, I want to pursue music, I want to pursue, acting or any particular field, or engineering or architecture. So the parents were very supportive about it. One needs to be really supportive and accept the child and believe, have the faith in the child is very important. Because falling and listening to others is, which parents also try to do, is one of a very big herd mentality that they try to do it, because they don't listen the voice of their own child. They listen to the voices of the others, of the relatives, or to, or to from their friends, and what their friends say, they come home and they try to impose, उनके बेटे ने इंजीनियरिंग की थी और उसका बहुत अच्छा पैकेज लग गया है और तुम भी यही करो.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the comparison. Like these you have been trained like that, you know.
So that is something, that needs to be. I think everyone needs to take that responsibility, because I'll tell you about it. I'm talking about others. I'll tell you about my own self. When I thought of becoming a psychologist, and this is a talk of like, in 2003, when I thought about, I want to become a psychologist. So my hometown is Amritsar. And so I went to my parents and I was like, I thought about to become a psychologist. So I still remember, and my parents have been very supportive about it, because you cannot achieve your goals and your dreams without the support of your parents. So I still remember, but in a hilarious manner, my father asked me, ये साइकोलॉजिस्ट, तुम साइकोलॉजी करना चाहते हो, तुम साइकोलॉजिस्ट बनना चाहते हो, ये तो ठीक है, बट ये मुझे ये बात बताओ, तुमने ये टर्मिनोलॉजी कहाँ से सीखी? You want to become a psychologist. You think about it, in 2003, a girl from a moderate city, from a middle class family, decides of her career path, and she's very vocal to her parents that I want to do a psychology. But then when I shared with them that why I want to do it, why I have so much of an interest and inclination, and I want to take it ahead, they were very supportive about it, and they actually helped me accept it, that I don't want to do an MBA, because there was a herd mentality of MBA as well running in the society. But then the support, the acceptance, and the faith of the parents is very important. And now, it has been a great journey of 13 years into professional practice. When they see the coverages on the newspaper, so they feel really happy about it. So I truly believe, rather than listening to the voices of the relatives, it's very important to listen the voice of your own child. Have faith, have belief in your child, that yes, they will be able to create a benchmark, and they will be able to do well in their, in their career choices. So don't let just few numbers decide the fate of the child.
Social support, I feel, is absolutely the foremost thing in a child's life. Why we are relating mental health, or why we talk about mental health, is because, see, if you are not in an atmosphere where you are giving child the privilege to choose the career, how can you expect that the child is going to score well? Okay, if you are in a system where, if you are in a family setup whereby you are not listening the child, whereby you are not giving child the time they need, you are into your own zone, and you are not into you put children into the busy activities every day, this class, then this class, then this class, and you also are busy in your own activities. How do you even expect that your child is going to score well? Because the whole mental health system is getting affected. The well-being of a child is being with the parents. The well-being of the child is not being with the classes, or 2-3 classes में आप डाल दो, and then you are saying कि हमने आपको best of the classes में डाला, तो हमारे पास में why have you not scored well? So, I mean, why you need to be with the child, you need to have a supportive system with the child, talk with the child. It's not about the only education thing that you're going to talk about. Talk with the child, overall spend time with the child. I often do that in my counseling sessions as well, whereby more than the child, the parents need to be tackled, family, they need to be told how important it is to be a family supportive, embodiment to your child. So, yeah.
And also I feel that, because we can talk, I believe we can talk a lot on this particular topic, the social skills and the life skills also needs to be developed. Not only the, the IQ, the EQ is also very important.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The parents needs to understand, because they invest a lot of time in the IQ of the child, but they do ignore the EQ of the child, and they don't invest anything on the social and the life skills. Nowadays, when I see that, mobile de diya, laptop or iPad de diya, and the child is busy in that, and they are not concerned about it. What the child is watching is also equally important. Because all these factors leads to kind of a mental stress and mental illness. So Mehak, guys, if you have any questions, so please do ask us, because our conversation is very interesting and I am sure you guys are enjoying it. But if anything which is in your mind and you want to ask, you want to express, or you want to vent out any feelings, so you are most welcome to do it. This is a platform for you. And I always say this is not a platform just to listen. This is a platform where you can actually express yourself. You can ask us any questions. So just don't be a silent listener. I am sure about it. Some or the other thought is running in your mind. So don't run it from the left hemisphere to the right hemisphere. Please do express it, because expression is very important in life.
Also, Kanika, you were explaining about the IQ and EQ part. For those people who are not aware of it, let us, tell them IQ is your intelligence. EQ is your emotional quotient, the emotional well-being of an individual. Now, whenever I have seen that, since I am working in a clinic and I keep on doing the child psychology and the child counseling thing, students, they are sent by the school authorities that so and so student is not doing well, so can you please, ma'am, assess them on the IQ test? We don't do that. We do the IQ, we take the IQ, but at the same time, the school says, or it doesn't say, we, at least in my clinical setup, we make sure that they need to be assessed on certain emotions as well. If, for example, your child is not doing good in the exams, we need to focus upon what is there. We have all the anxiety questionnaires, we have the depression questionnaires, we have the panic questionnaires. We are assessing them on that basis also, and then correlating the scores. So that's my request to all the psychologists, in fact, that, don't, if a school is telling you, get the child done on the IQ basis, take the EQ as well into being, because EQ ultimately affects your mental health, predicts better academic outcomes. Believe me on that. And I'm sure about that. We have international researches also that absolutely shows us how important it is for a person to have a good mental health, a good atmosphere in the family, and only then those children excel well.
Ultimately talk about it, that no matter how rich, how intelligent or wealthy you are, but if your mental health is weak, then your happiness is unwell too. So you cannot just focus on the IQ, you have to equally focus on the EQ. It has to be a balance of the IQ plus EQ for a healthy living. So guys, if you have any questions, please do ask us. I am waiting for your interesting questions. We have a lot of interesting conversations happening, but what is in your mind, do ask us and express it, and do vent out anything which is troubling you. And so just leave when you, after this talk show, you should be very light. So anything which is bothering you, you want to vent out, this is a platform for you, and nobody is going to judge you or label you. So ask us.
Never get that thing, all the audience that's around, just be sure of this thing, that never be judgmental. Never be judgmental, even about your children, about anybody. Let's not, why a person has not scored well. Maybe there must be certain reasons why he did not do good in the board exams. He must be ill, or maybe because the one day the last night he saw his parents fighting. And I had this kind of case whereby a child scored a 0 in the subject, and he did not tell his parents that, I have scored this much. So on the PT meet, the parents got to know that, our child has not scored well in the exams. So when we counseled that child, that child said that, ma'am, I saw my parents fighting it out in the night. They were not aware of it. I got up, I wanted to use the loo, and I just saw them fighting. So how can you, expect that with the best of the tuitions and the coaching centers around, and with the best of the things that you are spending on the child, your child, mental health has to be catered at, absolutely it has to be catered. So all the tuition
very nice. And actually that is the reason a lot of times the students are not vocal about their feelings and the expressions that's in their mind, but if something is bothering them, so the parenting is very important. And at the same time, I believe it's a for a holistic development, it's a equal the role of the parents, the teachers, the psychologists, the counselors, the school environment, even the friends as well, the peer as well. They try to do a lot of times. I've seen the bully and all that. I just when this results were out and I saw so much of social media पे इतना चल रहा था, so I was just thinking on it. I'm sure these schools, these classes have their WhatsApp group, and then the messages are being exchanged 94%, 95%, 90%. So a child who has scored about 60%, 65%, क्या mental illness उसके ऊपर हुई होगी for that reason?
Sorry to interrupt, Kanika, but to add I should not be naming any school, but there have been schools who just focus on the target students. They know these students are going to get us 90 and above, so let's focus. And that particular school holds classes for the child. Okay, it holds classes. Extra attention is given to the children. They are called at 6 a.m. in the morning, and then only those particular 3-4 students are the target group, and they actually name it that we are giving our target group all the privileges. I mean, all the parents are paying the equal amount of fees. Then why are you focusing upon the target group? So
right.
Obviously that loses the morale of the particular student who wants to kind of go ahead.
So you mean to say there are a lot of factors, like the one which I shared, that nowadays social media is so active. Students are on social media. There are so many groups which have been formed, and as I've rightly said, that every class has a group. So when the messages are being exchanged on it, 95%. So my thought is for that child who has scored 60% or 62%, उसके mind पे क्या चल रहा होगा? That is something, a direct factor that is giving a rise to a mental illness. So
Absolutely.
I truly believe that very important point you have shared, that neither the grades are wrong, because that's something going from years and years, and that will continue.
That's unavoidable.
The system, yes, we cannot do anything about it, but how we are projecting, how we are showcasing, and how we are making the whole framework is absolutely wrong. So this needs to be really changed. And in that case, I believe the parents also, because I truly believe that your true world is your family. If you are getting a support from your parents, from your siblings, then whatever the society says will not affect you much. But if you're own that world of a family members where they are trying to do a rat race or a competition, or they are trying to do making you compare with your cousins or with your siblings, is something really wrong. So accept your child with the scores and with the grades, and truly appreciate the effort of your child, because your child has really worked hard. And actually, when you are doing assertive parenting, when you're doing a conscious parenting, so the child will also have a desire to make the parents proud. But if you're trying to do that comparison and a rat race kind of a thing, even if the child has the capability and an ability, the child will be like, they are always trying to consider me a failure, or they are always trying to put me down. So even, you are not cultivating the talent, rather you are killing the talent. So it is my kind due respect with my joint hands to all the parents, that please give a conscious assertive parenting to your kids. Give them an environment to speak, give them an environment to breathe, and please don't try to do any comparison and competition with them. Because why I wanted to address it, I mean, you can really consider these subjects are very close to any psychologist, because for us, psychology and counseling sessions are not a service. They are very dear to our heart, and we want to give it the best to our in every counseling case. I'm sure you can relate with me, because you are true passionate psychologists like me. So you can really relate it, that it's not
absolutely important. It's absolutely important to to address this issue, because parents, they're not aware of anything. You're just demarcating according to your own zones. You're not letting the child speak out. For example, if your child has not scored well, what will be the first question a parent would ask? अरे you not scored well, इतना ट्यूशंस लगाया था तुम्हारा, इतनी तुमको मैंने बुक्स लाके दी, इतना इतना मैटर लाके दिया, you still have not scored well. Have you ever thought of this thing that you need to ask the child, rationalize the thinking? That's the term.
Yeah.
We need to rationalize the thinking. Why have you not scored well? What was it that's disturbing you? See, you have got the best of the material. You have got best of the people around who are supporting you for your marks, as in your coaching centers, etc. Why have you still not scored well? What is it that is troubling you? So that's important. You need to
So I think
rationalize them.
you have one thing, don't get into that zone of the blame game. You know, जो parents normally बच्चों के साथ कहीं करते हैं, because मुझे पता है all the parents, they love their kids and they really want their kids to be really successful. There is no second thought about it. But the kind and the type of approach needs to be changed. It needs to be more rational. It needs to be more conscious. It needs to be more assertive, so that you give the environment to your child to actually speak out, express it, and be, you know, be very friendly and be very vocal, so that, you know, the child consider, see, my parents are my world. I don't have to be, you know, bullied by the peer pressure. And even if the peer pressure tries to do it, see, we cannot change the society. We cannot change the society. We can educate the society. We can bring the awareness in the society. And if the you know, the parents have that kind of an understanding that yes, I need to accept my child the way my child is, and give the environment where the child actually cultivates the talent and the ability, I think that's the one of the best way, you know, to handle it. And the child would be very expressive. Even an introvert child will become an ambivert and will give, you know, will talk about it.
On the acceptance part, at least I absolutely agree with you, because see, we have also now seen that we are practicing also acceptance and commitment therapy. We do that in the psychology, right? So it is absolutely important to accept, to let the parents also teach that, you know, accept it, that your child is not a 90%, he's an 80%, he's a 60%, or he's a 70%. Accept it. It's okay. Your child has got other talents and he's gonna or she's gonna make you proud any which ways. Just give that environment to the child. Yeah.
Very true. Very true. So guys, I am sure you guys are enjoying our interesting conversation. And if anything which is in your mind, please do ask us. कल मैंने एक video देखा which was of you know, RJ Navid, I think, yeah. A very popular RJ, and where he was actually, you know, I just love that video where he was actually, you know, addressing one of the relative that he called, because the child was actually, the child had scored just, you know, quite low marks, and the relatives were trying to bully so much by calling the parents and asking them, "Itne kam marks kyun aaye? Itne kam marks kyun aaye?" So I think we need to be actually more sensitive. We need to be more sensible, and we need to respect the privacy of the others, rather than just trying to, you know. And then he was like, in that he was saying that. I'm just concerned about it. The concern has to be addressed in a sensible, sensitive, and respectful manner. I believe the awareness plays a very important role. So Mehak, I think you know, our talk show has got the maximum time this time, because it was such an interesting conversation. Normally it goes till 30-35, but today I think the time is, all the series that we have addressed, this is gonna be the, you know, the time is going to be really high, because we were really enjoying. And actually, I don't want to end the talk show, but there is a time frame as well. So what is the last message that you would like to give to all our viewers, because this is going to be on different you know, platforms as well? So what is your last message that you want to give to all the parents and viewers?
See, the last words, few words that I would say is that, you know, please, dear parents, dear, you know, people who are into children's upbringing, please let's focus on building our children's sense of self-worth. Please don't, you know, regardless of how many Charles Dickens or Nicholas Sparks your child has read, please focus on his sense of self-worth. Get to that thing that it's important that his or her mental care has to be taken care of, and your grading system, it's unavoidable. It's absolutely unavoidable. But please let your child, before your child, accept yourself that grading system is not everything for my child. Once you accept it, you obviously
Yeah.
would preach the child the same. So please, let's just start building our children's self-worth and
Okay. So it's a I Mehak, can you hear
yeah,
me?
yeah, 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 yeah. I can.
Okay, great, great. So I think was a wonderful message, and all the parents, who believe in the conscious and assertive parenting will really try to, practice it with their
Yeah,
kids. And ultimately, I always believe that every child is a unique blend of diverse talents. So,
absolutely.
and we have to discover the genius hidden within every child. So give them a space to breathe, give them a space where they can actually cultivate their talent and ability, because every child has a genius hidden inside them. So we have to actually give that space for them to breathe. So that was wonderful, and I think I really want to thank you from the core of my heart to address this topic, very dear to me, and I think very dear to all psychologists as well. And I am sure this video, when we are going to put it in all our platforms, is really gonna be really appreciated by our all the previous videos, and people are really gonna learn from this video and actually practice it in their personal life. So thank you so much for coming on our live talk show. That's Coffee with Kanika, unapologetically vocal. And thank you so much for being that vocal.
Thank you for having me and letting me be vocal on your platforms. That's the thing. And I wish you all the best, and be vocal, be unapologetically vocal in the long run to go. So yeah,
Great. Thank you so much.
thank you.